the product, the process, the people. Ethos Decorum.
My name is Janelle. My business name is The Working Beauty. And I got started because I was frustrated in my career as an attorney, in my legal career, and so I started the business out of frustration. I was looking into fashion. I decided I was going to start a blog. I did 2 blog posts and realized that it wasn't a blog, it was a business. And so I just kind of jumped out there. The weekend of Congressional Black Caucus, I got cards made on like a Monday and went to events on like Tuesday.
Have you always been a fashionable person?
No, I have not always been a fashionable person. I think that's probably what's going to surprise most people, is that I was tacky at one time in my life. How I got into fashion at all was I dated a guy. I'm very competitive. So I dated a guy and he said, "You're a real pretty girl, but sometimes when you get out of the car, I'm scared to see what you're gonna have on." I was like, "What does that mean?" He's like, "Well, you can't help it. You from Atlanta, you're a little bit tacky." I was like, "Huh?" And he was like, I said, "When we go out," and he was like, "No, when you go out, you're fine, but on a day-to-day." And I was like, "Well, I'm always been very studious." So I was like, "Well, I'm a student and I'm an academic and I'm not worried about fashion." And he was like, I could tell. But I'm also one of those people that if someone points out a flaw in myself, I want to get it right. So as defensive as I was when he told me that, he worked at Nordstrom at the time. I took him to work. I went and bought, I asked him, "What do the girls that are fly do?" He said he was like, "I don't know. I guess they always in magazines." I went and bought all the magazines at CVS and I dumped all the clothes on the bed. And I started, when he came home, I just started putting together outfits based on what I had. And that was in college, and it just kind of grew from that. So I've been asked to show some of my favorite pieces in the space. That's really hard because what's my favorite pieces kind of change day to day because I get so many pieces. But on today, my favorite pieces are the items that I'm about to show you. So first up is this right here. This custom tailored coat is by a designer, an international designer who only made pieces custom tailored. This coat is like a $2,500 coat, and if you see it, it is made so nice. It has a silk lining. Even the tag on the inside is like a really good tag. Like they took the time to embroider the name of the designer on the tag. So like this is an expensive coat. You can look at it, it's called Owl's Tire. You can look it up, but this is a coat, it's a vintage coat, and I absolutely love this coat. I've been eyeing this coat since I started my business. It's from one of my partners, my very first partner, Vintage and Charm. But there's somebody in the store eyeing it. She's already like put down a deposit, so it's going to a home really soon. So I tell you that I don't wear a lot of black, and that is really true. However, this dress, I absolutely love this dress, and I love this dress because of how it's made. The quality of the dress is so good. It's such a heavy material, and if you see, like it has the indentations at the highest part of the waist. So I tell women, you are most slim. Most women are most slim right here. So wearing a high cut pant or a dress like this that indents right here, someone was very intentional about how this made. It is made for the tall, curvy girl. It looks good, and the material is so thick that it really kind of hugs you in. And then if you check out the embroidery on the collar, it's just so detailed. And so, wow, and look at this. So a lot of vintage stuff doesn't stretch, but this has a lot of stretch in it. So this is made for a really tall, curvy girl. So I don't know where she at, but when she get this, it's gonna be the best day of her life. Then over here are 2 pieces that I really, really love. This came from one of my buyers. And this is, polka dots are fun, but what I love about this piece, it reminds me of, I'm really into day to play looks, and this is a really good day to play look because of it's see-through, right? So you can wear it with a bra if you're feeling frisky, but you can put a black camisole or a black shirt underneath and be completely professional, or put it under a suit. It's fun because it's polka dot, it's purple, meaning royalty. And so look at the sleeves on this, they flare out. This is by far one of my favorite pieces right now. We just got it a couple of days ago. Then over here we have these So this looks like a skirt, right? But no, it's short, yes, and it's made really well. It's tweed, and it's woven so well with a lot of colors, and it has a lining on the inside. Some of y'all don't know what a lining on the inside of clothes mean, but that means something. It means it's not cheap. Okay, so these two pieces I would definitely wear together because I'm into mixed print, and this would be a very quirky look. So yeah, this is one of my other favorite pieces. Then over here we have this dress, right? And I think this dress is my favorite piece because I think this dress is most reminiscent of me. So leopard in and of itself is very, 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 very ambitious, and it's a loud print. And I've studied what leopards mean as a spirit animal. And so it by itself, but then you got this purple beaded collar that someone took the time to bead. And it's just a gorgeous dress. And I think it's so funky and so edgy that this is probably the piece that I think is most representative of me. Then down here, we have this beautiful Diane von Furstenberg skirt and blazer. It's a suit. I love a good suit. I love to play off a suit. I love to wear them separately, and if you can pull this off together, you're bad. I have a lot of vintage designer and DVF, any vintage DVF, Gucci, Chanel, Givenchy, like anything vintage that's like loud like this is definitely a go-to. So I love this piece. And then over here, I had to include a fur because furs are absolutely beautiful, but I know some people don't like real fur. However, this was made so long ago before I was ever born, so what you gonna do about it, right? So this is soft, and I'm petite, so it fits small, and it fits your body. The zipper is made well, so I love this piece. I love how it looks, and you can wear it with just some distressed denim and just set it off. The other piece that I love is the jacket that I have on. I'm petite, like I said, so finding a camo that fit me, I was so happy when I found this, and this is definitely one of my favorite pieces, my friends could tell you. And then I got it embroidered to say the work in beauty, which is my logo, and it's the first piece that I have that has my actual logo on it. Lastly, my favorite item are these pants that I'm wearing. So I have a couple pieces that I would never sell, and these are pants that I would absolutely never sell because if you know, I don't know, but I love A Different World. Whitley Gilbert is my favorite character on there, and when her and Dwayne were poor, she wore the same outfit every day to work, and it was a pair of white high-waisted pleated trousers like this and a silk shirt. And I thought that outfit was so classic. So when I found these pants, in my mind, I feel like I'm Whitley Gilbert during that time frame. So that's my favorite pieces. Hopefully you'll come shop with me. Follow me on Instagram at The Work in Beauty, or check me out on my website at theworkinbeauty.com. You can set up a free style consultation if you refer this video.
How would you describe your clients, your relationship with them, and how you approach dressing someone else?
So I have my clients fall into two categories really because of my unique background as an attorney coming to a creative entrepreneur. So I have the traditional professional who has a more traditional mindset and traditional goals. I want to work somewhere and I want to make partner in my firm, or I want to become the mayor of my city, or I want to be a state attorney. I want a family. And so I have that client that I relate to very well because like for a long time that was my world, and I relate to them because I know them. And then I have a client that's in the more recent year is creative entrepreneurs, other people who want brands and see that I've built my own brand, and so they want styling that speaks to their brand. One of the things that I do, I don't think it's unique as a stylist, I think I just am probably better able to articulate it, is that a lot of people, whether you're aware of it or not, everybody sends a message through how they dress. A lot of people, the message they think they're sending or the message they want to see is completely disconnected from their wardrobe. My business and what I do is to connect your intent and what you want to see happen with how you dress. You have 7 seconds to make an impression. You can't say anything or do nothing in 7 seconds. So all you got is your looks. And like, clothes matter. The colors, the patterns, they say things, they mean things. So that's the approach I take with my clients. I ask them, what is their goal? What do they do on a day-to-day? How do people perceive them? One of the first questions I ask all of my clients is, when you die, what are the 3 things you want people to say about you? That question alone, I can tell you exactly how you should be dressing. And my clients, I do a vision board for them where I show them outfits based on that, their response. And I haven't had anybody ever be like, you weren't on.
Where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years?
So in 5 to 10 years, it's really hard for me to answer, and I know you should have a 5 to 10 year plan. I have goals, right? And I write those goals down. And some of those goals happen really quickly, and some of those goals don't happen as much. I've learned to be forgiving with time, because there was a time where I wrote every goal down. And like, for instance, being an attorney and, you know, that whole process, I wrote that stuff down. And when it didn't happen, the most devastating part about it didn't happen in my timeline. You know, so I think now I have goals, and I assess my business every 3 months. So I sit down and I say, these are the goals for this 3 months. And these are the goals for this 3 months. And this is the goals for this 3 months. And if I'm not there in 3 months, it just goes back on the goal list for the next 3 months. So I can tell you overall goals. 1, I want to be published in a major fashion magazine for an editorial spread where I just use thrift and vintage clothing. That's very important to me. So it can be Vogue, it could be W, it could be Elle, but I want it to be a major magazine. The other thing is I want to have a partnership with a major national thrift store. That's something that I definitely want to do. And then there are other goals. So like I said, where the timeline is, do I see that happening in less than 5 years? Definitely. But if it doesn't, if it takes a little bit longer, I don't want to box myself into, in 5 to 10 years, I'm going to do this. Because what I've learned about life is that as much as you should plan, you should definitely plan, but you shouldn't put yourself on such a time restraint, because when it doesn't happen, you shouldn't be discouraged by it not happening in the time, because ultimately, God is in control and He's the time. So I just tell God, this is what I want to see happen. Like I wrote, when I first started, I said I want to go see Jeremy Scott fashion show. I wrote that on my mirror. I honestly thought if I had wrote it down and put the timeline, I would have gave it 3 to 5 years. For it to happen in the next few months, the next fashion show after I wrote that, I'm not limiting God in what's happening in 5 to 10 years. He might want it to happen in 20 years. He may want it to happen in 3 years. I can't put that. I can't do that.